invisible.
This is BBC Radio 2.
On BBC Sounds.
And on your smart speaker.
Play BBC Radio 2.
BBC News at 1 o'clock. This is Anthony Birchley. A prayer service is being held ahead of the funeral of a French-Algerian teenager who was killed by police in the outskirts of Paris. The death of Nahel M has sparked 4 nights of rioting across the country, with more than 1,300 arrests last night. Sophia Betiza is in the city of Lille, where several large buildings, including a health centre, were burned down.
Protesters broke in the middle of the night and set the whole building on fire. Across the street, there's a pharmacy, and that was looted and partially destroyed. This morning, so many people here have told us, what is the point of attacking pharmacies? The feeling is that this is just not the right way to demand justice.
An article about the Duchess of Sussex in the Sun newspaper, written by the broadcaster Jeremy Clarkson, has been deemed sexist by the press regulator IPSO. Mr. Clarkson wrote that he dreamed of Meghan being publicly humiliated while naked. In an apology, Mr. Clarkson said he'd intended to make reference to the Game of Thrones. Jemima Olhalski is from the gender equality charity The Fawcett Society and has called on the media to pay attention to the decision.
This is a real moment where I think the Sun should be reflecting on the editorial processes that meant that this actually ever got published in the first place. It is also a heads up to our media more generally to say that we're not going to put up with this kind of sexism and hatred in our press anymore, that the standards are going to be enforced and they need to make sure they pay attention to them.
IPSO has also said it hasn't ruled out an investigation into newspaper coverage of Nicola Bulley's disappearance earlier this year. Ms. Bulley's family criticised the press, saying stories about them were published with the sole aim of increasing the paper's profits. A lower energy price cap has been brought in by the regulator Ofgem in Great Britain. A typical household's bill will drop by around £400 a year to just over £2,000, an amount that's still higher than before the pandemic. A survey by Which has found that iced drinks from high street coffee chains can have more sugar than a can of Coke. The consumer rights group compared frappes from Caffè Nero, Starbucks and Costa and found a Starbucks caramel frappuccino contained 12 teaspoons of sugar, the highest of all the drinks it looked at. Helen Money is a nutritionist and says the research is a useful reminder for consumers.
It clearly shows that it's very easy for many people without realising to have more sugar in their diet than will support their well-being. But I think that's why this report, as there are many others, are useful, because it just helps create awareness. A lot of people might not realise how much sugar are in some of those iced coffees.
Starbucks said its drinks could be customised to lower their sugar levels, and nutritional information was on its menu and app. The weather: rain will continue this evening and overnight in the north and west, dry and breezy elsewhere, similar conditions into tomorrow morning. That's the BBC News at approaching 3 minutes past 1.
Now, Pick of the Pops with Paul Gambaccini on BBC Radio 2.
Greetings, pop pickers. Saturday is our day for Pick of the Pops on BBC Radio 2. In the first hour, it's the top 20 from this date in 1969. Then we hear the hits from the 1st of July, 1978. If it's 69, there must be the Beatles, Beach Boys, and Booker T. Then there's Elvis Presley, Jackie Wilson, and Smokey Robinson. Living in the past, time is tight. Something in the air, in the ghetto. Happy Heart. Oh, happy day. The 1st of July, 1969. Number 20. Scott Walker, The Streets of Cincinnati.